Hey, good morning, everybody. This is Jim from Fishnet Coleus. So here we are at the end of October, and we still have this really hot, sticky, humid weather. We got a lot of remnants from the tropical storms and so forth out in the Atlantic, but the past few days have been really hot. Not hot so much, but very humid, damp, misty, lots of fog and stuff. And so the Coleus are still loving it. I mean, they are clearly declining. The daylight is less and less every day. Sun sets earlier every day, and it's cooler at night, and the seed stalks continue to grow, as you can see. So that's the natural cycle of growing coleus in a winter climate like New Jersey. So, but I wanted to go over, I'll show you my rootings, how they're coming along. I'm lining them all up, and I have tonight after work, but when I get these the water changed, clean the rinse out the roots a little bit. I want to show you my Fishnet Stockings Coleus driving me crazy. It's sprouting seed stalks all over the place now, but because of the decline, it's starting to slow. So I put it in my greenhouse, and I'm trying to help it along, and I'm giving it more of the bloom booster and so forth. So it's really starting to kick in. But Fishnet Stockings, I'll show you, they have very short, stubby seed stalks. So I'm kind of limping it along, and I'm hoping I can drag it out, and I'm hoping that the warm weather continues into November, so I can at least get some Fishnet Stocking seeds. But again, I love the plant, and I cut a whole bunch of rootings. So if I'm not successful with the seeds, I'll have the rootings, and it continues from there. So let's go take a look at the Fishnet Stockings. I keep calling it black stockings, Fishnet Stockings. Let's go take a look. Here I am. Here I am in the greenhouse, or I'm just about to go in the greenhouse. Again, it's really humid, very humid. This is perfect weather for declining coleus. They're still growing, although again in the fall. This is the cycle I come to accept. As much as I hate to say goodbye to a lot of my large planters and so forth, again, my main objective right now is cutting seeds. And as you, if you're not aware, it's not an eBay store, but I did open Jim's Coleus. I have to contact eBay, see if I can get my Jim's Holiest of Coleus emblem and moniker name for that. But I'm selling on eBay Jim's Coleus seeds. So if you're interested in buying some seeds from me, from the many plants that I feature on my page, and these are all legal, non-patented seeds, Kongs and so forth, that I collect and I separate, package, and ship to you, so you know what you're getting, as opposed to mixed wizard type of coleus seeds where you don't know what you're getting, or you're just going to get a mix, which is fine. I mean, I do that too. If you just want a mix of my coleus seeds, just ask me. But again, check out Jim's Coleus on eBay, and I'll have seeds listed regularly, because I have lots of seeds. And again, I do all the hard work for you. I separate them, I mark them, I put them in bags, and you'll have enough to share and for years to come. So okay, so here we go. My greenhouse is usually a mess this time of year. I need to do some maintenance. The heat, the heat that and the moisture and stuff takes a real beating. So, but I sometimes I get to it in the middle of winter if it's a temperate, nice, warm day, and I'll take all the racks out, clean up all the debris and everything. I have a bunch of pots that have soil in them already and stuff like that. But that I generally do in the spring, early in the spring. I separate and throw out a lot of the soil. I sift. I don't throw out the soil. I sift it through, get rid of all the rooting stuff. But the rest of it is great. And I mix it with good potting soil. It's great. It's like a compost, rich in nutrients. There's leftover potting soil. Obviously, this is potting soil. Leftover seed, not seed. I'm sorry. Leftover food, Miracle Grow potting mixture food, plant food, and so forth. So it's good. You can see it's good stuff. So anyway, so here's the black stockings. Now I put this inside my greenhouse now because we've been getting a couple of nights that are in the 40s, and I don't want it to die, number one. I want to try to help this along, and it's really been working because, as you can see, I'm getting a lot of seed stalks. Now I leave this open. Like today it's very mild. I'm going to open this up and leave it open so we can let some insects in to help pollinate. So we're getting lots of seed stalks in here, but again, they're very short, stubby compared to like the Kongs, which are thin and they just grow really tall and they kind of hang over. These are thick stem, but you know, Fishnet Stockings, this particular one, these are very thick stemmed coleus plants. They're very, very strong, rigid coleus stems, so they hold up well when you have a storm. I mean, obviously I try to shelter it. If it's something really, really bad, I'll put it in the greenhouse. But you know, this is at the end of its life cycle, but we're getting the seed stalks. I believe that one's ready to go. So I'm just so used to, I've never gotten seed stalks developed on this, so I'm not sure how high it goes. I mean, you can see that developing, but again, we're at the dormancy period of the weather zone, so it's slowing down. But this is a beautiful coleus. I love the black and green contrast. You can see some of the black. I found that this Fishnet Stockings, if it's left in full sun, like this one was, you get a lot darker. You get a lot of these really dark leaves, which is common with coleus. You'll get, some of them will turn black, which is obviously this one has. And then you have some others, which are the traditional, customary coleus design or traits of the plant itself. But yeah, you can see we got some seed stalks going. You can see they grow. There's two or three. I've been snipping some of these side ones here, maybe diverting some of the energy and nutrition to the larger one. So there's actually 4 here, so I just getting rid of a few of them, and we'll get that center one boosted. That's why I think this one's doing real well. I snipped the side ones, but also the side ones sort of make it look a little more beefy too, so it's a perception. So I'm going to continue doing this. I just gave it another shot of Bloom Booster, and again I have Mystique Rose and That Pat One. That Pat One, I believe, is who gave me the pointer, the recommendation when I mentioned I couldn't get any seed stalks off of these for the few years I've had them. She suggested I use some Bloom Booster. So That Pat One, thank you very much. Again, I had mentioned it once before, but thank you. It's working. And you know what? Next year, Pat, if I don't get a lot of seeds this year, next year I'm gonna hit it with Bloom Booster earlier in or like midsummer or early summer to make sure that I get them to grow. So still a beautiful plant, but like I said, so and then at night or right before I go to work, I work nights tonight, I'll close the greenhouse up, and we want to make sure we keep it nice and warm. So it's around 70 in here. It's like 59, 60 outside, but it's very humid. It's just very, very humid. So all right, so we're gonna head inside now. I'm gonna go over some of my rootings real quick. I'm gonna give them a good rinsing, and I'm actually gonna put them all on a table so you can take a look and see how many total rootings I have. And I have a few overwintered coleus too that that are doing all right, but they're molting. Some of them are molting. And again, I mentioned that to you. If you have a nice coleus plant that you've been growing outdoors, it was on your patio all summer long, and it's nice and full and beautiful and everything, and you want to bring it inside, there's a risk. It's going to live, depending on how bright of a window you have and how cool or hot or draft by the window and so forth. There's a lot of variables. It's going to, perfect example would be like this. Here's your thriving fishnet stockings, and here, see how it's sort of washed out and it's declining and so forth. That's what's going to happen to a lot of your overwintered coleus. The leaves are gonna start to thin. They're gonna almost look opaque. You'll be able to kind of thin, they just get thinner, opaque, less vibrant. They just don't look as vibrant. That's just the natural overwintering, the dormancy period. So the main thing is to keep the plant alive, and I mentioned that. You don't fertilize it all the time. If you have some Job's food sticks you want to put in, that's fine, but don't actively fertilize an overwintered coleus. Just keep it alive, water it, lots of light. If you have an indoor style, one of those indoor greenhouses like I have, the little plastic covered with the shelves and stuff, and you have a full spectrum, make sure it's a full spectrum LED plant light, that will help tremendously. So you can use that to supplement the light when the sun goes down at 4 o'clock, like it does here in New Jersey in another couple of weeks when we turn the clocks back. So you can supplement that, your plant, with the full spectrum LED grow light. If you have any questions on which one to use, just shoot me a text. A message here, and I'll steer you in the right way. What of the different LED grow lights I have. So all right, so let's go and take a look at all of my rootings. And before we go in, just to show you, here is that once full healthy coleus. Still have a lot of seed stalks. I have so many seed stalks, I couldn't possibly use all of these seeds. Even selling them, I still couldn't sell all of these seeds. So still got some bumblebee action going. We're going to keep these going. This is a beautiful jitters. But you can see it's thinned out tremendously. It molted a lot. You can see them on the ground. And also my Rose of Sharon's molting. So it's natural. So what'll happen is then that one night where we get a real frost, or the 2 nights that we get a real significant frost, I'm going to come back from work, say, I work nights, I'll get home in the morning and I'll find this dead. And it'll be thinned, it'll already be thinned out tremendously, even more. So it's not hard to remove it. I just cut the stems, and then I throw I recycle everything in my compost pile. Yeah, with the seeds and all. So the Saturn is still doing pretty well. It's still, like I said, we've been pretty mild here. It's not perfect. You can see it's definitely on a decline, but it's still beautiful. So I put this up on my deck. You can see lots of flowers, petals from the tons of seed stalks. This monster really, as you can see, it's just declining. It's no longer a beautiful coleus, but it's beautiful in its other way. As a coleus connoisseur, I see beauty in this. I see all these tremendous seed stalks. And again, I cut a lot of these. I might still take a few, but these are clearly ready to harvest. Clearly ready to harvest. You can almost see the seeds in the little cradles. Again, if you're going to collect your seed pods, you just cut these, cut them, put them in a container, not covered, out in the open, let them dry out completely, at least 2 weeks, until they're completely brittle, and then you'll actually shake them. And check out my previous video I shot about 3 weeks ago on how to actually harvest the seeds. But this is, you can see the seeds. See the seeds back in the little cradles there? This is a nice, healthy, mature seed stalk ready to go. So once we dry them out, they're perfect. The seeds are perfect. Yeah, another perfectly. So if your seed stalks are browning like this, they're well done. These are ready to go. These are well done. Well, actually, probably a lot of the seeds already fell in the ground, which is why coleus are actually perennials. I don't know if you knew that. Coleus are perennials because they seed themselves, but they're not traditional perennials like we on the East Coast. They're not the type of perennials like black eye Susans or Shasta daisies or anything like that. It's different, but they are considered perennial plants. But we on the East Coast, New Jersey, or we in frost zones, we use them, we treat them as annuals. They're annuals. So, okay, so now let's head inside. Okay, so we're joined by my two Yorkies. Is Newton, Beauregard. I think we got everybody here. Nope. So there's Beauregard, he's resting. There's my other cat, Ruby, and her brother, Maximus, is in another room. He was just out. So anyway, here's my rootings. And why I keep the rootings is for decorative purposes. This is my favorite vase, and I always put a Defiance. You know, not always, but I'll put a Defiance in here. I just rinse the water out on this one, and I keep it on my TV here, and it just looks nice. It's a nice, beautiful vase. I got that at an antique store. It just looks beautiful, doesn't it? And that'll keep going. It'll keep going. And of course we have, I have this old stand from the 1800s, I'm guessing, late 1800s, 1900s. So I keep my rootings in here, and this is good because it's out of the way. Keeps the cats away from it, because we all know, as I had mentioned earlier, that coleus plants can be poisonous. They're not fatal, but I mean, if a cat were to eat, or a dog would eat all of them, obviously they would be quite sick. But this really deters the cats. I mean, yes, the cats can jump up here and kind of lean over and chew on them, but I keep an eye on my cats, and they just don't seem to gravitate towards my coleus plants. But anyway, I use this for my rootings. And here's a Fishnet Stockings. I always go back to the black stockings. I don't know why. But yeah, so I'm getting some seed stalks developing here. So on a real nice day and so forth, I'll put this outside on the patio table. I'll do that now. And I'll let's go outside. And we'll put it on the patio table with my other ones. There's some leftover coleus that I refuse to give in. And I have this other one. Here's another black stockings that has a active seed stalk. A Fishnet Stockings that has an active seed stalk going now. So I'll leave these out here and let them get pollinated by the bees. And I'll bring them indoors. All right, so I pretty much gathered all my rootings here. And again, I use my rootings for these little picture windows. They're perfect, the colored glass, and I got these at the dollar store, and they're perfect for these little picture windows. Perfect for the picture windows. Okay, so I'm going to go over all of. I'm not going to go on more on the video because I did that already. You can look back at my the second from the last video I did, or two videos back, where I actually showed you how to maintain your rootings. But these are coming along good, and this is what you're gonna expect through your rootings. You're gonna find leaves that die for whatever reason. Trimming. There's a lot of leaves here. You can see this one's starting to die. You can let it continue to die, or you can cut it off. I just trimmed it off. You can see this is a natural. This is what you're gonna expect when you're rooting. You're gonna keep rootings going. And, not all your rootings will make it through the winter, but most of mine do. And a big part of that, again, is maintaining your root ball. Just continue, every week, every 3 days, if you have more time, every 3 days or so, rinse your root ball, rinse out the container, and put fresh water in it. Very important, and it's how I keep my rootings going all fall, winter, and into spring. So, again, here's another Fishnet Stockings. And this one here, I don't really need a Saturn seed stalks. I have plenty of seed stalks from the Saturn plant. I don't really even need this. I don't really need these 2 or 3 Saturn rootings, but I like the way they look, and I use them up on my window. So I keep them for that purpose. So there's people who ask me, why do you keep them in the rootings? Do you plant, now that the roots have come out, you have a root ball, do you plant them in soil? No, I don't. Not until next year. Not until the spring. And again, the planters that I showed you outside came primarily from my rootings, with the exception of the Kongs, which I do not keep Kongs as rootings. I don't think I've ever successfully kept Kong rootings going all through the winter. There's something about them that they're just so delicate, and their leaves I found their leaves to be very, very thin. These Fishnet Stockings, if you have one, or if you do get one, they're very hardy, very thick and sturdy, and the stems are very, very stern. I mean, very, very thick, almost tree-like. These are perfect if you want to grow a coleus tree. So, but that's why I don't keep Kong rootings. And as much as they're beautiful, I'll do once in a while this blue vase. I'll throw a Kong in, but it won't last very long. I might maybe get a couple of weeks out of it, a month, and they really overwinter quick. They decline very quickly as rootings. So. Okay, so basically this is it. This is your ideal setup for keeping rootings and overwintered coleus. Here's just a select few of coleus that I brought in for the winter. This is a beautiful one. I had mentioned this was the little one that fell. It was a seed that fell on the soil next to my driveway, and it started growing this beautiful coleus, and I just took it out of the soil and potted it, and here it is. It's just beautiful. So we're going to keep this one going. And here's a variation. That's a Fishnet Stockings, but it doesn't have that real drastic trait. It's not as pronounced as the other Fishnet Stockings, but you can see it is. It's just smaller. So, and this is just a wizard color, it's just needs to be trimmed a little. And this one should do okay over the winter. Again, there's my rootings right in front of the window. And here's obviously we all know this is a poinsettia. Again, we have cats, and they don't bother these. Obviously, I'm not watching my cats all day long, but you can tell if your cats are messing with your plants, because generally you'll see the bite marks. You'll see the little bite holes in the leaves. So my cats luckily don't mess with our plants. We keep them busy with other stuff. They have plenty of other things to keep them happy and content and out of trouble. And here is my Lord Voldemort. This is beautiful. So you can see it's leaning, needs to be turned around. Needs to be turned around. I got to move this, but it needs to be turned around. And this, I'm pretty confident it's going to make it through the whole winter. Again, I expect this. I'm going to start to trim it. It's still growing. It's actually still growing. So I'm going to trim the top on this. I don't want it growing really, really tall. Same concept if you're following along. Same concept. I'm going to keep the top trimmed, but I expect as winter starts to progress, it to slow down drastically. It's not going to, and it all depends on the summer, on the winter also. If we get a really sunny winter, a mild winter, a winter which has more sunny days than overcast, snowy days, then I expect my Coleuses to do a little better here. And obviously on the other coin, the flip side, if we have a really cold, nasty, gray, overcast winter where we have less sunny days and so forth, I expect these to be a little more dormant. So again, very important before you decide to bring in your Coleus, and I'm repeating this, is make sure you spray them with this insect soap for at least a week before you bring them in. Check your plant really well, including the soil, for any insects before you bring your Coleus indoors. You don't want to get insects in your home. I got some leaves here, so check that. Also, when you bring produce home, I've noticed for some reason pineapples, I always find gnats on pineapples, so I try not to. I just find that pineapples, fresh pineapples from the store, they gnats. I don't know what it is about them. That's just me, maybe. I don't know. So here we are. Not a lot of. I don't keep a lot of overwintered Coleus. I can make this window out to be a little more of an extensive window for plants. And my wife has her African violets going. I have some small cactus. So we keep this. We try to keep this in, but this is a seasonal window. So, and then of course in February I bring in 2 racks, and I have my seed stalks. And here's my indoor greenhouse. I normally have my grow light hanging there, which have it down this in. But again, before we get closed, let's put the light on. You can see we have a lot of seed stalks drying out. A lot of seed stalks here. And we're letting these. There's some green still. We're taking our time. I don't have to rush to separate these. I make sure that they are completely brittle, dry. The more dry and brittle they are, the easier it is to separate the seeds. And then I'll get to cleaning this disaster up. Okay, so I hope this video helped out with our, actually I just wanted to say hi. I miss all my subscribers. I miss shooting videos. I missed the growing season already, and I just wanted to say hi. So, but anyway, if there's any particular subject that you think I should shoot a video on, please leave a comment. Anything you're having trouble on, or something that maybe you want me to highlight on, leave me a comment. Don't forget my Instagram page, and don't forget if you want to buy some seeds from Jim's Holiest of Coleus, check my eBay page, Jim's Coleus. That's Jim's Coleus. I have a listing of seeds. So until then, we'll talk to you soon. Perhaps before Thanksgiving I might shoot another video. If not, enjoy your holidays, and we'll try to keep in touch. If not Coleus, some of my other interests. I like to keep my channel active, although it is all Coleus, but again, if you're a subscriber of mine, I like to go off on a tangent once in a while. So thank you very much, everybody. Thanks for watching. Thanks for following along.